Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Ryan Montgomery, actually, happy birthday to Ryan. It's his birthday today.
How about that?
Yeah, he's an ethical hacker and cybersecurity owner, and he's just a very brilliant guy, and he's a big heart. And for years, he's been behind the scenes, being an info guy, basically for these big child predator groups. These guys that go out there and they catch these child predators from online. And this is in a spot where I'm just training, and I don't have much going on outside of fighting, and it's pretty much fighting has really just been my life. So I had this other time, and I've always been feeling like there's got to be something more for me. I'm more than just being scrappy. Dustin like there's more to me, and it was just almost like a meant to be thing. We're sitting there talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I do this behind the scenes. I catch these child predators, and I help these groups out." He goes, "I've always wanted to do it in person, but I've never had anybody that's serious enough." And I'm like, "Well, tell me more." And he showed me within like 5 seconds how bad it was. And I was like, jaw dropped. And I kind of known I've had two people in my life that were victims of it. One of my childhood best friends was a very unfortunate victim, and my mom, when she was younger, was a victim of it from things she would tell me. So as soon as he showed me, I was like, man, I got fired up, and I'm like, I'll go out there and let's go do it. I'll be the one to confront these guys. And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we started this project called 561 PC. 561 is the area, where we live in South Florida. And we did it for like 2.5 months where we never filmed, we always filmed it, but we never posted it anywhere. Never we just were turned into the cops. And then it was one of the cops that actually was like, you guys should be exposing these guys, and we're like, all right, we'll start. 'Cause I didn't know how people would react like a fighter, I don't know. We didn't know anything about it, honestly, like how people would react or whatever. And it wasn't for other people, but so we started posting it, and it just kind of took off, and we got crazy amount of support. We started, putting out there all the predators that we were catching and all the videos of of me confronting them. Ryan was behind the camera. I was the one that was confronting them. But yeah, that's what we started. It was 561 PC, and we're out there catching online child predators that are coming to meet up with children.
That's amazing, man. You know, politically, I guess we're in an interesting spot right now. And obviously, we have the movie Sound of Freedom. There's been a lot of stuff back and forth. What are your thoughts on that current state right now? Because it seems like I don't know. It seems a little strange, I guess.
It's crazy, yeah, and it's a touchy subject. Like there's so many people, God bless John, wanting to speak on it. He even reshared it, not afraid of what people, because a lot of people are just kind of like, it's like a weird thing, but I don't know why. Like, I mean, it's a real problem out there that's happening. I mean, look at our friend, my really good friend Walt Harris. Look at his daughter. Like, I mean, it's right in front of you. We don't think it goes under the radar. So much goes under the radar, and if it doesn't happen to us or someone we know, we don't think about it, right? Like it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's sad. We see a little story, but then it starts happening to people we know, or people that are involved or whatever, are victims. Then we start to care, and I think like Sound of Freedom is really exposing the dirty secrets of the world, and I mean it's the biggest issue out there right now, and it just goes so under the radar. And it's because there's so many important people that are a part of the problem, and that's why a lot of people are so scared to talk about it. And I mean, I think Disney was the owners of Sound of Freedom, and they weren't going to put it out there, and they got it. So I think was it Tim Ballard or whoever bought it from them, because they're like, well, we'll produce it, we'll put it out there, we're not afraid. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very touchy subject, and it's weird for, like you said, it's awkward. It's like a weird thing. But once I got exposed to it, I was like, wow, and then after all the videos kind of took off and took wind, I got so many messages. I mean, to this day, I still probably have 500 requested messages from people sharing their stories, sharing testimonies, telling me how much they appreciate what I do. And then a lot of it's heartbreaking. I don't even know what to say back to half of the people, it's truly mind blowing.
Dustin Lampros with us here on the Anik and Florian podcast. You can find out more on Instagram at Scrappy135MMA. And I just can't commend you enough, right? As a father in the 5'6" right now, to come across your content. You can imagine the overwhelming feeling that came across me. And if you do want to help 561 PC, and I really do want to get involved, and I commend Ryan. I've been struggling with how to describe Ryan. I think ethical hacker, right? Obviously, but he was the driving engine and parlayed with you. You guys are this tremendous force. I do have to wonder, though, certainly I would pick you against almost anybody at a Walmart in aisle 9 head to head, right? But I would imagine your mother and others have expressed some sort of concern about your physical well-being walking into some of these situations.
Oh, of course. Tons of people. Almost that's half the messages I get. Please be careful. It's super dangerous. And my father, he's supportive. Like, he's like, I'm glad you're doing that. He's like, it's just scary. Like, he's afraid. I'm like, well, anything worth anything's scary. I say this, like, and I mean it. If that's the way God has planned for me to go out, then so be it. I know that I'm doing a good thing. And one thing more than being a fighter that really makes me feel like I have a purpose is helping somebody. I don't know what it is. When I'm making someone happy or helping someone, or I'm making some kind of impact, this past year is really what I realized, like, fulfills me, makes me happier than ever stepping in front of the cage, winning a fight in front of people. I mean, that stuff's great, but I realized there's so much more of a purpose to my life than just fighting. And that's what I've made my idol the past, since I moved down to Florida in 2014. I thought in my head, I got to be so dedicated to fighting. If I want to make it, I was behind because I had no background. It was just a dream, and I got so wrapped up in it that I didn't realize, how much more there is to life. And starting this project, man, was very eye-opening for me. And I couldn't be happier with the decision of doing it. And, everybody wants me to be careful. And but if I can make an impact on one child's life,
right. Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, no, it's really unbelievable. And yeah, if you can save one Anaya Blanchard, then it's worth all of it. And again, 100%. Just, and it's interesting too, because as somebody who used to teach special needs kids, and I used to work as a job coach and a vocational coordinator, right? Like, if they paid those people, what they pay, people to wear like television makeup, I'd still be doing that. And I do think Kenny and I, as sports TV announcers at times, certainly we all feel, well, hopefully most of us feel that philanthropic pull, but sometimes I feel like my work, I guess my hours could be better served doing something that really helps people more than just an outlet like recreation, which is sports television. And I love that you're obviously a professional athlete and devoting your energy to this. I mean, how big can we take this thing, right? So I don't have to tell you, there was a show hosted by Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator. I think it was on from like 2004 to 2008. Like, am I gonna leave the UFC and we gonna just go at this thing full throttle, you and me? Like, what are we doing?
I know, and that's the thing. Like, what we did, the catches we did in a couple of months' time. So mind you, we haven't done a catch. So when we did a podcast with Mickey Gal, and 38-second clip of it went viral, like crazy, and it had this guy named Sean Ryan brought out my buddy Ryan Montgomery and me, and my plane actually got canceled, so I didn't end up making it onto the podcast. But he went and finally got the voice he deserved, and it from there it was huge. It was everybody reached out, and now as of last week, Ryan, my partner, actually he isn't going to be doing it with me anymore. Which everything's great between us. But his skills are so insane, like his hacking, like what he can do, that he's working for some of the biggest organizations now that are literally getting kids out of shipping containers, like doing things like that. And I'm all for it. Like, he's using his skill set on a wider range, and he's still there for me if I ever have questions. And now I know, my foot's in the world of, the predator catching, and I know people now, so it's still going to carry on. But yeah, that's the thing everyone asks me, where does this go? I had no intentions. My intentions were just to do it. And then I realized, obviously, my face on camera, being a pro fighter, makes everybody interested. Everybody, you know, it took off more than all the other predator catchers. I've been doing it for years, and I don't know where it could go. I mean, if you know, it's not something. Obviously, I have a lot of people that reach out and they go, "Hey, I'm from, you know, California. I would love to start that here. How do we do that?" And I don't want to encourage somebody to go out and do it and then get hurt, you know, and then I'd be the reason, like you guys are saying, like, you know, it's scary. Well, yeah, I don't want to recommend, like, yeah, start your own catching group. And then a week later here, you know, they got injured because, you know, of the situation and they didn't handle it correctly. I don't know. I don't know if we start, you know, something to where we go around, you know, Ryan and I were talking, maybe getting an RV and traveling and setting up some like tours to where we can go and speak to kids or go and maybe set up some kind of groups like that in the future. It's so new. It took wind so fast on like 4 or 5 videos. That was it. And that's all we've posted. And we haven't posted anything in a while or like haven't done any catches because we've been trying to like get everything behind the scenes together. I don't know. I would love to do that. I mean, that would be awesome. We could start a TV show or start something to where, but if it's actually making a difference, you know, because this was nothing that we started to do to make money. You know, we have never taken a donation. Ryan, you know, is financially stable or financially in a situation where he could afford to pay decoys and pay for all the things that it costs to make the catches happen. And now that I'm stepping back, I do have a sponsor, someone who I met with that was like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. I'd love to support it. You know, you wear this shirt during your catches, I'll supply you with whatever you need." And like something like that, that's great. You know, I'm for it. You know, I don't know though exactly from here where it goes. I mean, yeah. I've had people reach out and say, "Hey, a TV network, that'd be great." But who knows? Maybe a Predator beatdown, you know, like a spinoff from Bully Beatdown.
There you go.
That would be cool. You know, I know that would, but yeah, man, I don't know where it goes. I just know that I want to continue to do it and, you know, help make an impact. And I really believe that it is.